today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the NECA Toys AVP Alien vs. Predator Ancient Warrior Predator. Ancient Warrior is recommended for ages 17 and up and comes packaged in the same package artwork that we've seen with other AVP figures. Featuring over 30 points of articulation, includes shuriken, sword, spear, backpack, cannon, and skulls. Down below there's a slight smaller image there of the Ancient Warrior Predator. On the back of the package, there's also the other figures available in this set, Ancient Warrior Predator, along with the Scar helmeted version Predator, and also the Predator Guard, or Temple Guard. The read-up for the Predators says, for centuries the Yujas have had a presence on Earth and have quietly influenced our history and culture. Worshipped as gods, these ancient predators taught humans how to construct pyramids and temples that served as ceremonial hunting grounds for young blood Yuja, while hosting many dangerous prey. As tribute to their off-world deities, the natives would sacrifice themselves for these hunts, voluntarily becoming breeding grounds for creatures such as xenomorphs. The Yuja title of Ancient is reserved for the oldest and wisest of the clan, and at the end of the Ancient's life, a successor must be appointed, usually a blooded Yuja, to lead the next generation. The biomasks of these ancients have been passed down for thousands of years, uniquely modified for each wearer. Although not a guarantee of elder status, these chosen demand a higher degree of respect from the other hunters. Only the bravest and most cunning warriors earn the right to wear the mask of the ancients, as they are the most capable of surviving to long life. To check out more from the folks over at NECA, you can go to www.necaonline.com. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, though, we're going to get a better look at the Ancient Warrior Predator. Some more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Let's go ahead and first have a look at all the accessories that come included with Ancient Warrior Predator. I would have normally put on the backpack along with the little cannon here, but I wanted to quickly show you the detail and how different, I should say, as well, the Ancient Warrior Predator's Plasma Caster shoulder cannon is from others. Of course, one thing you'll probably notice right away is this kind of greenish gunmetal color that makes up the majority of his armor. The cannon is no exception, and it has like little areas where it looks like it's more of a reddish color, especially the areas on the sides here. This whole section here, like the Scar Predator we had a look at, can slide. There's a little track. Hopefully you can see it. There's a little track that slides the caster back, or the actual cannon back and forth. It's not the easiest. Of course, it's a lot more difficult when you've got it on his actual back, but this does slide back and forth. There's a hinge right at the bottom here, as well as a secondary hinge in the mid area of the neck. And then there is a little peg that attaches to the cannon itself. It's quite nice, I have to admit. Especially, I love this little area. Almost like a webbing, like a Predator style of webbing detail to it. Very, very nice. I might just leave it off for the purpose of this review, because I know ultimately I'm going to have to rotate his head. It's going to pop this right off. But if you just wanted to see how it looks, this will just sit at the back area here. There's a little notch, a little peg. These never really clip into place as good as they should. Sometimes with the other Predator figures that I've gotten, sometimes I just ultimately glue them in place, and then that way I know when I rotate the head, I'm not going to ultimately, pop this off by mistake. But just before we have a look at the Predator also, he comes with a shuriken, same shuriken as Scar, same shuriken as all the other Predator figures. He comes with one of those. He comes with, funny enough, he comes with not only a retracted staff, but also an extended staff as well. Same staff, just two different variations of it. Not sure why you would come with two, but nice, always nice to have extra pieces available, especially displaying Predators. You can pick and choose really what you want to display them with. Some of them I don't always display with staffs. I might ultimately just display him with the staff as just to kind of make him different and stand out. He does come with a knife right there, the longer bladed knife, same as well as a scar. And also in the same way too, the blade can sit just very easily at the side of his leg, just like that. Other things he comes included with too are smaller blades that can be attached to the side gauntlet of his wrist. Now, because these are interchangeable, you could simply just swap them out for the longer blades that came included with Scar, or just swap them out for any of the other blades that came included with the other AVP figures. So there is mix and match possibilities available. Lastly, he does come with a series of skulls. A little necklace, for example, a little extended piece of a skull. That looks like it's almost more like a claw. And there's all these little hooks. Now, there really isn't a place necessarily that you can attach it to him unless you want to attach it to the, the existing brace or necklace that he's wearing around his neck. It's one of the few instances where I've seen something where you can attach like all these extra, these so small, guaranteed I'm probably going to lose them. But there's these little tiny, again, little tiny skulls. There's 4 of them in total. It's not that far off from really what he's already got on his necklace. I don't know why they would have given you extra ones when simply the ones around the necklace I think would suffice for me. And see, as you can see, when you're moving the necklace, just the hooks don't hold out well enough. They just fall off really. I'm just going to leave them off for the time being, but you do get 4 of them, 4 different ones, just very small skulls. Put those to the side. So now that we've had a look at all the accessories, let's have a look at the Ancient Warrior Predator, which I have to admit, in all honesty, I was a little reluctant with this particular wave because I just kind of felt it was more of the same. Having already had a look at the Celtic Predator, Chopper, Scar, Unmasked Scar, now having a look at Masked Scar, I felt like I don't know what really NECA could bring to these additional 2 figures that would make, a regular collector of NECA toy Predator figures worth picking these up. And to be honest, now that I have it in hand and how different it is in hand, I'm quite happy that I had a chance to pick this guy up. One of the things, again, I noted in the beginning of this review is that the coloring of his armor is so distinctly different than that of the other AVP figures. It's really a breath of fresh air, as the coloring is almost more of a greenish, slightly greenish gunmetal color. He has also little notable details too, being that he's an ancient predator, one of which being a like Egyptian style pharaoh collar that goes around his neck. That's a little small thing that really the other predator doesn't have, or any of the other predators have had. So it's nice to have something like this different on Ancient Warrior. As for his mask is slightly a similar design to, perhaps slightly similar to Chopper, although there's slight variations to the sides of the deco there. Just move the hair out of the way, you can hopefully see. It's got a mechanical look to it, like a very industrial look to it, but it still looks very ancient as well. The eyes are in that kind of pearl white coloring, slightly frosted coloring. Other things to note as well is the feet, something that maybe doesn't get as much attention as it should. He has almost something like a sandal on. The back area here, which I can only imagine is wrapped around him, he's got something that you would almost imagine an Egyptian wearing, though now on a Yuja rather than a human. For your coloring, overall coloring of Warrior Predator here, let's reach off camera. Best way we can kind of do a comparison. Let's bring in the Scarred Predator helmeted version. Now they are using the same body. The the Ancient Warrior Predator has a little bit more of the brown. That's really what separates this guy from a body standpoint to that of the scarred helmeted Predator. The inclusion of all this additional brown really actually stands out on the figure. Areas of the shoulder, the side areas of the torso area, and then running down the sides of his leg as well. Again, small touches, but really something that does stand out. It looks like he does share the same side armor plates as that of the Scar Predator. The front is also very, very similar. They've added a couple additional pieces on his belt, but other than that, like the buckle itself looks like it is a reuse. The pockets on the side, one side doesn't actually have that skirt armor, whereas the Scar did. They're little small changes between one figure to the other, but it's enough that makes them not necessarily copies to one another, but does make them as very distinct Yujas. Really, ideally, like the designs, and I just dropped the blade there, the designs of the Predator stay primarily the same. And it's only by Yuja to Yuja that they do change it out slightly depending on what their personal style or hunting style is, will vary slightly to the way that their armor is presented. I have to admit though, I really like the Ancient Warrior Predator. The coloring, it's all this extra brown and the green, that kind of greenish, slight green armor, really that sells this figure for me. When it comes to his posability, I'm actually glad I left the caster off there. His head is on a good ball joint. Now, if there was the shoulder cannon, guarantee that would have been knocked off as well. Shoulders hinge out. He also has only armor on the one side, which offsets itself from the plate on the other. A rotation in the bicep. He's got a bend in the elbow. He does not seem to have a rotation in the forearm, but like the Scar Predator, he has a slight rotation in the forearm. Ball joint in the hands. Also, too, the note, even though he is an ancient designed Predator, he still has the little side control console on his arm, along with the detonator sequence as well. The upper torso is on its ball joint, a secondary ball joint at the waist of the Predator. Ball joint legs. These blades keep wanting to pop off. Ball joint legs, a top swivel. Right at the very top of the thigh, there's that swivel. A double hinge knee. And finally, ball joint legs, slight rotation again at the knee area too. Sometimes Predator overload where one Predator to another doesn't really look that distinct enough, but then NECA, as they always seem to do, for every particular wave, you might get one that looks very familiar to another one, and then all of a sudden you get something that looks very different. And it gives that, again, that refreshing, fresh coat of paint that I do really appreciate. So far, I haven't had a look at the Temple Guard Predator or Temple Predator, but this one might be my favorite from this wave, the Ancient Warrior Predator. The coloring is very different. He's more minimal in design. He doesn't have as much of the armor going on. It's kind of like he's halved of everything that the Ancient or the Scar Predator had. He has half the torso, half the shoulder, he has half the leg armor. He's kind of got the same design aesthetics, just more at a minimal level, and I really like that. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the Ancient Warrior Predator from the AVP Alien vs. Predator line. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's got one more video heading your way. Thanks for watching, as you always do. See you next time.